Lesson number 13, Advantage Detailed Targeting Plus. So lesson objectives here. Understand the benefits of using Advantage Detailed Targeting in Facebook ads and how it can be used to target specific audiences based on detailed demographics and interests. Also, discover advanced techniques for optimizing advanced detailed targeting, including combining it with other targeting methods and using exclusion targeting. What is Advantage Detailed Targeting Plus? Well, Meta's Advantage Detailed Targeting, it was formerly known as Detailed Targeting Expansion, can help improve campaign performance by allowing the Meta system to reach a broader group of people than what you defined in your detailed targeting selections. Now, this option shows your ad to additional people who Meta believes are likely to get you more or cheaper results, or both, against your optimization goals. So Advantage Detailed Targeting Plus is optional for advertisers. Sometimes, I'm going to show you this in the real world example in the next presentation, and they can choose it for their ad campaigns when you want to target specific audiences. However, Meta may automatically implement Advantage Detailed Targeting for certain ad campaigns, such as those that are designed to promote a specific product or service to a particular audience. I know that's really vague. I'm going to show you again some examples in the real world case studies here in just a minute. In these cases, Meta's algorithm will automatically identify the most relevant audience segments for the ad campaign based on the advertiser's goals and targeting options. This is like Facebook's response by using AI to assist you with your targeting for targets that you may not even know may be interested in your products or services. So here's how it works. This option will show on your ad to additional people who Meta believes are likely to get you more or cheaper results, or both, against your optimization goals. Meta's system implements Advantage Detailed Targeting when it determines that doing so could improve your overall performance. Basically kind of telling advertisers, hey, I know you think where sales and leads may be, but we're going to show you another direction. Now, if Meta finds better performance opportunities outside of your defined audience, Advantage Detailed Targeting allows Meta to dynamically expand the audience to reflect where Meta is seeing better performance and where Meta may expand further to include similar properties. So this is, or opportunities. And this is grabbed directly from Meta's site on how to handle Advantage Targeting Plus. So Advantage Detailed Targeting is specific to detailed targeting and doesn't apply to locations, age, or gender targeting options. So if you're only targeting San Francisco, for example, and a certain age and gender, that's not going to change at all. Any exclusions and targeting sections outside of the detailed targeting, such as age, gender, location, and language, continue to apply, right? So those are still going to be your parameters. Now, you can add detailed targeting selections as exclusions when you don't want Meta to consider certain demographics, interests, and behaviors if you expand your ad set's audience. So Meta system won't deliver ads to excluded audience. So if we have an excluded audience of buyers, Meta's not going to deliver ads there. If we have an excluded audience, let's say that we're targeting people who are in school, but we don't want to target graduates and we exclude graduates, well, Meta is going to exclude that as they start to run their Advantage Detailed Targeting Plus as well. So advantages of Advantage Detailed Targeting Plus, it helps reach a broader audience that's still relevant overall to your campaign. It can also improve campaign ad performance by suggesting additional interest and behaviors that you may not have considered. Now, just to be clear, you're actually not going to know the different audiences that Facebook is targeting when they're starting to do this Advantage Detailed Targeting Plus. So Facebook's going to expand your audience, but you don't know if your audience was into small business owners and different types of lookalike audience. Unfortunately, we don't have that information at this time, and Facebook's not reporting that. And it does save time and effort in manual audience research and expansion, because at the end of the day, I say this over and over in the training, Facebook wants you to have a bigger audience that you can optimize towards, because when you have a bigger audience, the AI just works a lot better, specifically when working on conversions as well. The disadvantages of Advantage Detailed Targeting Plus may result in increased ad costs due to expanded reach, kind of depends on where Facebook's going after the targeting, may result in lower relevance and engagements if suggestions are not relevant to your campaign. So we want to believe that Facebook's AI can really help us out with targeting, but we want to watch this really closely just to make sure we're not getting outside of our targeted audience. When you're running retargeting campaigns middle of funnel, sometimes Advantage Detailed Targeting will target people outside of your retargeting custom audience. I'm actually going to talk about this here in the next video when we go over the real world example. Let's dive into real world application here. Now, Advantage Detailed Targeting Plus case study, it's really an over-the-shoulder view just to show you different options. Now, here's the disclaimer. Depending on what niche that you're in, what you're advertising, where you're located at around the world, your screens may show up differently. So I've logged into a bunch of different client accounts just to show you some over-the-shoulder views of which you may be seeing on your side. Sometimes there is not an option for the advertiser to remove depending on audience, business type, targeting, and targeting objective. I know that's really vague, but that's all that Facebook really says. You just have to go into your ad account and see what you see there. See right here, it says we may deliver ads beyond your audience for selected objective if it's likely to improve your performance. So I don't really have an option here. Facebook's going to basically force that upon us. And this is in an e-commerce business, for example. Sometimes this is not an option for the advertisers to remove depending on your audience type. So this is, we're excluding customers here. We're targeting people with school-aged children, but it basically with entrepreneurship, but Meta basically comes back and says, hey, we're just going to go ahead and deliver it to a bigger, broader audience if we believe it's going to increase performance. And as I mentioned before in the training, unfortunately, I don't know what audience that is to be able to duplicate that with interest or lookalikes. So sometimes it just is what it is, unfortunately. Sometimes Advantage Detail Plus is not an option depending on the audience, business type, targeting, and objective. See, I can't even find it in here. So this is basically the same client's account. We set up with the exact same type of ad, the exact same type of targeting, and for whatever reason, it just doesn't show up as an option when I just created another recent ad set. Sometimes there's just no rhyme or reason, unfortunately. Sometimes Advantage Detailed Targeting Plus is optional depending on, again, audience, business type, targeting, and targeting objective. So right here, you can see Advantage Detailed Plus where we have the option to turn it off or on if we want to. So when expanding budgets, test this option to see if it improves conversion or just increases reach. So sometimes what we'll be doing is we'll target this specific interest and we'll be seeing what the conversions come in at, what the CPM comes in at. Then next, what we may do is duplicate that ad set, run this right here where we're going to click on reach people beyond detailed targeting selections. We want to see, are we getting improved click-through rates on our ads? Are we seeing our CPM costs go down? Overall, is our cost per lead or cost per sale, is that going down when we click on the reach? We like to run two different ad sets to compare those numbers with, and we run it in an ABO style, where the budget, of course, is at the ad set level. Sometimes Advantage Detailed Targeting is automatically applied and then optional when a saved audience is duplicated, depending on audience, business type, targeting, and targeting objective. Sorry, the screen's a little blurry here. I actually had to take this as an over-the-shoulder screenshot of another over-the-shoulder screenshot as I was helping someone set this up in their own ad. I went through like 10 different client accounts and couldn't find where I could set this up at. But this, for example, is a roofing contractor, field of study electrician. These people are general contractors, local services. When this audience is saved, you see right down here, and again, I'm sorry it's blurry, but we recommend keeping Advantage Detailed Targeting on because it provides more opportunities and improved performance, or you can duplicate the audience. And essentially when you duplicate the audience, you'd be able to remove the advanced detailed targeting. So again, it's just sometimes if it's applied, not applied, if it's optional, if it's not. I wish I had more insight for you, but it all depends, again, the niche that you're in, the account that you're running, where you're located, and so on. Sometimes advanced detailed targeting is forced on the advertiser, depending on the audience, business type, targeting objective. So here, you're going to see where there's a check mark in the box that we can't remove it. Again, sometimes it's just one of those things that just, it appears or not. I just want you to be conscious of when you see this option, when to use it, when not to use it, when you can't use it. Sometimes Advantage Detailed Targeting is not an option, depending on the audience. Again, you're going to see here, this is a middle of funnel targeting audience that I'm hitting. So just all retargeting with content, people who've already engaged with our brand, landed on our website. So, which is nice. I'm glad I don't see the Advantage Detailed Targeting Plus as an option here. Now, what can happen is, if possible, the Advantage Custom Audience Plus basically says, it's kind of like the Advantage Detailed Targeting Plus, but basically says, look, if there are people in your custom audience that we believe we can expand on that custom audience, we would like to be able to reach those additional people. So sometimes what we see is when this box is checked, when the option comes up, Advantage Custom Audience, when this option comes up, sometimes we see people targeted outside of our retargeting audience. So our Hot 7 audience that we covered before, this is our bottom of the funnel. We know that people clicked on the sales page. We're running really specific ads. So I'm not really quite sure where the Advantage Custom Audience Plus comes into. Like, what else do they target? Do they target people outside of our Hot 7 window? And with this option right here, we proceed with caution, just because sometimes we see the audience as completely outside of our specific retargeting audience we're looking for. Again, test and verify what works best for you. When expanding budgets, test this option to see if this improves conversions or just increases overall reach. So recap, Meta Advantage Detailed Targeting is a powerful tool to expand your audience reach without you having to do much work. It helps find new interests and behaviors to target within your existing audience. However, it may lead to decreased relevancy and higher costs if not used carefully, right? If it just runs wild. Watch middle of funnel custom audiences to ensure Advantage Detailed Targeting does not disrupt your retargeting campaigns.